And as I said, so now let's move to about senior year of college. This is probably like 2013. I really wanted to get more videos of when I played basketball when I was younger. I'll just give one example of something that happened when I was watching the videos. Is I had this one move where I kind of do like dribble to the right and then dribble to the left and then do this type of thing and then go. And I would get people all the time when I was younger when I did that, but I didn't know how I did it. I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I said, I was so good because I was unconscious about everything that I did. So, but then I was watching the video and I described that the videos actually screwed me up because I became aware of the swag flow, and I'm not going to get into details about that. And then things kind of deteriorated, and I wanted to get more videos so I could say the swag flow too. But as I said, many of the videos were lost on that day in 2013 when I showed my parents the Quadra Mall. They didn't believe it. And then they left me, and then I left a whole box full of probably about 30 videos at least. So, but I still have some videos. I still have videos that I had, and I got videos from my grandma's house from cassettes, but I lost a lot of videos that day. But there was one move that I would do where I would dribble to the left and then do this type of thing and go. And I didn't know how I did that. So I remember I would try to duplicate it just through my mind rationally, but I wouldn't be able to do it. But then one day I was looking at the video of me doing it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do exactly what I did in the video. I'm going to take 2 dribbles with my right hand, side skipping, and then dribble to my right, and then try that. So I did it, and I did exactly what I did in the video, and I duplicated it. And I was like, whoa. And that's when I started to realize, like, how important form is and doing it exactly the same way. And that's when I started a little bit duplicating exactly how I was shooting in the videos. And that's when I started making my shots, when I would duplicate exactly how I shot when I was younger. But it took me a while to figure out some things because, and I think that this is a reason why my grandpa still, didn't believe me about the shooting machine, was my shot was still messed up all the way up till 2019 because I was still doing something that my dad was having me do with my feet. And I'm not going to get into details with that. But then I started looking at the videos and I changed that. And I started shooting better. But anyways, this is 2013. I wanted to get more videos when I was younger. And I mentioned that I was, that my whole life I was kind of like, I was a communist. I was a Marxist. And I was kind of anti-white, very pro people of color. And I saw myself as Jewish, and I saw myself as a communist. And I knew that, the nationalists, National Socialists, the Nazis, they're more nationalists, and they were against race mixing, and I was for race mixing. And so, but I wanted to go to Israel, and I was hoping, to get the quadrant model big over there. And then I was hoping to maybe get power over there and get more basketball videos when I was younger. And I wanted to study how I shot, and I wanted to duplicate it, and I wanted to study the swag flow and study all that stuff and just duplicate all that. So, but going into Israel, I decided to do a trip there. I asked a rabbi if I can do a trip there, and he said that he was going to have me do a trip with the Orthodox Jewish group. And I had no idea what Orthodox Judaism was at the time. There's a lawnmower guy, or there's a leaf blower guy, and it's making a lot of noise. It's kind of distracting me, but I'll try to continue. But so I do remember, like, right before I went to Israel, though, I talked to my friend Michael, and I was telling him how I was thinking that an ideal society would be a 4-caste society, 4 classes based around the Myers-Briggs types, like, guardians and rationals, idealists and artisans, and have these 4 types of people. And my idea was, then people won't be divided based off of race and gender and other things, but they'll be divided based around temperament. And when I think about it, yeah, it seems like a nice idea, but also a big part of my agenda was to race mix, because I was kind of a leftist and anti-white and saw white people as bad and wanted to defeat white people. I saw myself as Jewish and thought of myself as more of a person of color. And I thought that if I could make a 4-caste society and mix all the races, that would create like an ideal society. But a big part of my agenda was the race mixing aspect. I know that. So when I went to Israel, I was thinking, I might try to get power and try to get the quadrant stuff big. And I went on an Orthodox Jewish trip. But then when I got there, I started learning from the Orthodox Jews, and they're teaching about how, before marriage, you should not touch a woman, you should not have sex. and you know, the very, very like right-wing conservative, and how women should be in the kitchen, women in the kitchen and men do the work. And you know, it seemed like very in my mind, I'm like, because I just came out of college, very liberal, UCSD, very liberal high school, Harvard Westlake, one of the best high schools, but very liberal. And in my mind, I'm like, whoa, I'm mortified, because I'm like, dude, like, this is going against all my deepest convictions. Like, no, dude, women should not be in the kitchen. There's women who are INTPs. They should, you know, and who have, you know, certain personality characteristics that suit them more for, you know, business. And there's men who are more suited for the kitchen because they have temperament qualities that make them more suited for the kitchen. And, you know, let's not make generalizations, and let's not, you know, say that all women should be in the kitchen. And, you know, and now I wasn't necessarily in the flow, like I said, though, still at that time. And, you know, again, my grandpa would say that every group has an order which they depend on. And by following those orders and not just your own whims, that can help you get in the flow. And there's a reason why sometimes groups have certain orders that they depend on, my grandpa would say. And, you know, to discount the Orthodox Jewish mode of behaving and acting might not be completely accurate. Maybe it is a beneficial order to have women in the kitchen and men doing the work and stuff, or women in the household and taking care of the children and stuff like that. But when I was seeing this, though, at the first time, I was thinking, white supremacists. Because that was my interpretation of right-wingers, that they wanted to maintain the order, they maintained the status quo, and I was a communist, I was a Marxist, I literally was. I remember in college, like, my best friend was my friend Noah Vickstein, and his dad was Jewish, his mom was German, but I remember, like, I would talk to him about how I was a Marxist, and he was a Marxist too, and we were like, yeah, dude, like, and I asked him one time, like, why do you think so many Jews are communists? And he was like, well, maybe because we're the chosen people. And we both thought that communism was the right way to be. Now, looking at it now, I studied Hindu mythology. And like I said, Shukracharya, the planet Venus, in Hindu mythology, he wants the Dravidians, the darker races, or the demons, to defeat the demigods, the lighter races, the Aryans. And that, I think, and he's Satan. And he has similar qualities to the Satan of the Bible. He has one eye, right? Kind of like the Illuminati, one eye. And I think that that's the way that I was. I wanted to race mix, and I wanted the darker races to defeat the lighter races. And so I wasn't, you know, it could say, oh, you're so compassionate. You want to fight for women. You're a feminist and you want to fight. Really, I had an agenda, though. I know that. So like, so when I see the Orthodox Jews and they're talking about they want a wall, and they're good with walls, I'm like, what? And they think that men and women should have divisions, and women should be more in the household, and men should be doing the work and stuff. And I'm like, what? Because in my mind, I'm like, well, these guys are white supremacists. They want to maintain the status quo. They're not communist Marxists like me. And they want, you know, and they believe in the social construction of gender, you know, because came out of college and I believe in the social construction of gender, and you know, and I'm thinking, like, this is very evil. I'm like, these Orthodox Jews are evil. Little did I know, I was also evil. I had an agenda. I had a race mixing agenda, and I was against white people and stuff. But I was looking at them and I'm like, these guys are nationalists. These guys are basically Nazis. These Orthodox Jews. That's the way I was looking at it. And I was like, and I was a communist. And I wanted to destroy religion. And I'm thinking to myself, like, these Orthodox Jews don't even realize that the Bible is mythology. Because I want to destroy religion, because I want everybody to mix. And the way I saw religion is I thought it divided people. And this was proof. I was like, yeah, see, these Jews just want to maintain their religion so that they can maintain division and keep the brown people and the Arabs out. And it's a white supremacy tactic. And that's the way I was looking at it. I'm like, religion, white supremacy. And I'm like, these Orthodox Jews are Nazis, religious Nazis, and I didn't like them. And I was a communist Marxist. So I'm learning from them about all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, the reason why they want the women in the kitchen and stuff is they want to make them into baby makers, and they want to have more children, and it's, you know, for the white race, so they can maintain the white race, maintain their genes. I was thinking just Darwinism. But, you know, I wanted to, you know, basically I wanted to undercut all religion and undercut the structures that I thought maintained white supremacy. And I wanted a communist, Marxist utopia. race mixed everything, right? And that was what I thought I was originally going to get power through looking at things through that paradigm. And I didn't, that's the way I was looking at it. And so I had a predatory stance. I think I had predator, as my grandpa would say, predator prey software toward white people. And so I'm learning from these Orthodox Jews, and I'm getting all these ideas from them. And I'm like, whoa, this stuff is bad. This stuff is evil. And I want to undermine religion. So now then I ended up not getting power in Israel. I thought that I was going to get I revealed the quadrant model to people in Israel for the first time, and I put it on YouTube and stuff. And I wanted to get it big over there, but then it wasn't working out because I was staying with the Orthodox Jews, and I'm confused at this point because I'm like, dude, I'm a communist and these guys are nationalists. And I thought that all Jews were communists. I thought Jews were liberal. Like, what's up with these Jews? They're confusing me. And I remember, like, just I'll give one example. I was at a meeting with the Orthodox Jews, and a lady was giving a talk, and she was like, I think that we should have as many children as possible because, Hitler killed 6 million of us, like, and, to tell us that we can't have as many children as we want is evil. And I remember I raised my hand and I was like, well, don't we have overpopulation? Like, why do we want to have so many children? Again, I was a leftist. I was like a liberal leftist, and I didn't realize it. Like, now I know Elon Musk says, that if anything, we might have underpopulation, and we might be moving toward, extinction almost. And he thinks that having children is a beneficial thing. But at that time, I was a typical liberal leftist, and I'm like, dude, like, why are we trying to make women into baby makers? Why don't we just, like, you Orthodox Jews, you religious people, you Nazis, like, come on. Like, what's the deal? Like, we have overpopulation. And that's the way I was taught. But I think I was really just anti-white because I would think to myself, like, yeah, if we're going to defeat the white people, we don't want to support and condone policies that are good for them, like, keeping women in the kitchen and like having a lot of babies and stuff. I was a liberal leftist, and I think that part of that was because I was anti-white, and I thought that would be best for defeating the white people. So I do think I was satanic, to be honest, because, like I said, from the Hindu scriptures, Satan, what does he want to do? He wants to destroy the Aryans and the demigod Aryans, and he wants the Dravidian demons to defeat them. And that's the way that I was. And he's anti-religion. He's a communist, and I was a communist. I was anti-religion. So I remember I was just like, I was confused and I was distraught, and I was like, dude, these freaking, but I didn't even say it out loud. But I remember I was walking though with some of the Jewish guys, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really cool with their ideas about women, how women should be in the household and stuff. And I was trying to tell them, like, there's individuals in every group, and I remember one of the Jewish guys was like, yeah, he wanted to be a lawyer because he wanted to fight for black people, right? So it's like the stereotypes of Jews wanting to be for the people of color. But I'm looking at these Orthodox Jews, and I'm like, these guys are actually white supremacists. They're secret white supremacists, and they're right-wingers, and they want walls, and they want to keep the dark people out. And I'm like, dude, this is not cool, because I'm a leftist, and I want the dark people to win. So I was just like, dude, this is not right. And like I said, a part of the reason why I wanted to believe like everyone's an individual and don't generalize is because I wanted the black people to be like, yeah, we can be doctors and lawyers too. And, and we don't have to just play basketball and rap and stuff. And because I wanted race mixing, I wanted the black people to come up and win, So I'm very disturbed when I'm in Israel. And then I come back from Israel, and I'm staying at my grandma's house. And that was when I started to put my quadrant model stuff online, because I was like, okay, now I'm going to get this stuff big. And I'll get more to that in a minute.